All right. Appreciate everybody coming by. Our first coffee with Carlsen for the 2022-2023 season. Is everybody fed? Is everybody eating? Everybody good? Everybody all right? I want to introduce myself. My name is Andy Garcia. I am starting my 12th season as the voice of NIU women's basketball. That only puts me 2 years behind John A. Poison here at the program. So that's okay. John A., she knew I was going to say that. Want to thank everybody for coming. I did the math, so you don't have to. We're 18 days away from the exhibition game taking on Loras, and we're 27 days away from taking on just a small team in Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, coming up on November 7th. Looking forward to it. 12 years, I love this program. Plain and simple, I love women's basketball. I love doing it. But I've had the chance, now I'm going in my 8th year with Coach Carlsen, and she makes it so easy. We hang out. She's one of my best buds. I can talk anything about her, and I can tell the way she's with me is the same with the players. And I think that's why we've had success and why players love being here at NIU. So I'm looking forward to year 12 and year 8 with Coach Carlsen and the rest of the crew. I want to say thank you to Northwestern Medicine again for sponsoring this great event this year. Bill McMahon here at Faranda's does a great job. Next time it's tacos. I've been asked. Maybe tacos next. Garcia asked that next week. But the pasta's great. Thanks to Bill McMahon and everybody here at Faranda's. Want to acknowledge Sean T. Frazier, Director of Athletics and Recreation here at NIU, but also, thank you, but also is our sports administrator here for women's basketball this year. I cannot wait. We're rooming together. We're not? We're rooming together. We're going to have wait to the bus ride, Sean. We're going to have a fun, no. Anton Goff is here too, and good to see Cliff back here. Connie T-Berry, head of track and field here. Hi. We're going to talk to Jimmy Moreno. How about NIU volleyball? 13-4 overall, 6-1 this season. We're going to talk a little about all that. This is coming up on the show. A couple things I want to talk about. Season tickets. If you've not gotten your season tickets, NIUHuskies.com. Some great packages, not just for women's hoops, but for men's hoops as well. So NIUHuskies.com, get your tickets. I know a lot of you guys are already season ticket members, but if you're not, please get your tickets. And I want to talk about homecoming and the job that NIU did for homecoming in the week and the pep rally on Thursday. And volleyball had a great weekend, but also the Title IX brunch that was on Sunday. A huge event, great event. Johnny Poison was a big part of it. Ray Gooden was part of it. A lot of the staff was, and it was a huge turnout on Sunday at the Convocation Center. And it really capped off a great week of homecoming. We wish Saturday would have gone better, but overall, the community and the university had a great week of homecoming. It was great to see, and hopefully get another one next year. Finishing off the 115th homecoming. Open scrimmage, if you weren't there last Saturday. Coach Carlsen, a good turnout. We had recruits there, and it was good to see the players play, not just in front of an old gym and no one there. It was great to have kind of a little bit of that nerves, right, where you have other recruits, you have parents there. So you had a little bit of people watching you, kind of put a little bit of effect on practice. And it was a fun scrimmage. We saw some players come back that had been part of the team, and now the newcomers kind of could gel a little bit and see what's going on. So it was great to have the open scrimmage on Saturday as well. We mentioned the Title IX event on Sunday. Huge success, really capping off, 50 years of Title IX. It's great to hear the different stories from that. So again, it was great to hear the success about that event. I want to mention too, we've got this Coffee with Carlsen today. Tip-off event for season tickets tonight at Fatty's, 5:30. Fatty's, the Novak Room. Hopefully you can make it out for the tip-off event. I mentioned volleyball, and we're going to talk a little cross-country, Jimmy Moreno. I do see Michael O'Neill now in his first year of women's soccer. They're getting wins. They're having a successful season. We're going to talk a little women's soccer as well. So, Michael, good to see you as well. But that Fatty's event tonight, 5:30, season ticket holders. You get to meet some of the players, and the staff is also going to be there at Fatty's tonight. Also, Husky Madness coming up October 27th at the Combo. Kind of just like that, that March Madness, that Husky Madness, 3-point shootout. I'm sure they're going to scrimmage a little bit. Just a nice event on October 27th at the Combo for Husky Madness. Both the men's and women's teams will be out there for that. I want to mention some of the upcoming events, too. We've got some different events coming up with football and basketball. Just stay online. NIUHuskies.com will have all that. Volleyball's got a huge 2 matches come up, taking on Ball State. Ray will talk about that. But if you're on campus this weekend, get out to Victory Court as well. Also, YouTube channel. All your phones have it. Trust me. YouTube, NIU Athletics. Highlights, press conferences are on there. Coach Carlsen, different basketball pressers will be on there as well. NIU Weekly, which I host each week, is on there. Also, different highlight packages are going to be there as well. So NIU YouTube, NIU Athletics is that. Like and subscribe to that. That's enough of me. I'm done talking. I'm going to be talking all year. I can't wait. Let's bring in head coach Lisa Carlsen. And starting her 8th season, she's a player's coach, but you know what? I love her. She doesn't like a lot of defense. I don't either. I want to score a lot of points. That's okay. I want to score. Coach Tandez knows that. Let's score a lot of points this year. Head coach Lisa Carlsen.
You're going to upset my defensive coaches, Andy. And we don't want that. I also want to thank Andy for kind of taking over and emceeing this event. You know, we do get a chance to spend a lot of time together. I feel like, especially on the radio, we have great synergy. He makes it really easy. And that speaks volumes to really how enthusiastic he is about our program. So I appreciate all that he does. You know, I'm excited to be here and see everybody. The best thing about the first one means that basketball is right around the corner. You know, this is such a special time of year because we have so much going on as far as NIU athletics is concerned. You know, fall sports are really in full swing, amping up for opportunities in the postseason. Basketballs are really starting to get in the swing of things, as well as some of the other winter sports. And so you have a lot of overlap. And so I think the excitement around the entire department is really now is one of those special times a year. You know, I think that I think we have a team that we're going to put on the floor this year that you guys are going to be really proud of for a lot of reasons. I have talked on numerous occasions about how proud I am of this roster and even rosters in the past as far as how they attended their business. You know, they came here to be great basketball players, and maybe more importantly, they came here to get their degree and to go on and to be great citizens within the communities that they go back to. And I'm never disappointed in how they go about their business in the classroom, in the community, how they represent our program, how they represent themselves, and then really how proud they are when they wear their Husky gear no matter where they're at. It's been a staple of our program. I think we've been really consistent when it comes to that, and really one of the biggest pride factors that I have. We're excited to hear about volleyball, excited to hear about soccer, excited to hear about cross country. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about basketball. My staff, we have a few players here, which I know is always a highlight. Andy's going to talk to them a little bit, ask a few questions, hopefully get an opportunity to know them a little bit more than just how often the ball goes in the basket, which is always exciting. I do want to start with introducing my staff, though, who is all here. Many familiar faces, a couple of new faces, a couple of different responsibilities. Adam Tandez, my associate head coach. Adam has been here for 7 years now. Again, a real staple to the program, has his fingerprints all over it. Some of his responsibilities are more on the offensive side of the ball. He is our recruiting coordinator. But really, this is a staff that it kind of rolls up their sleeves and just really gets it done. And Adam's a huge part of that. Jane and Lex are both starting year 4. They share the responsibilities on the defensive side of the ball. And contrary to what Andy thinks or says, we do spend a significant amount of time trying to slow the other team down. And they do a great job of that. You know, really, if you followed historically on the defensive end in the last 3 to 4 years since Lex and Jane have been here, we've gotten a lot better on that side. I think attention to detail and the things that they've been able to implement and the players understanding really systematically what we're trying to accomplish has been good, really good on the defensive end. So I am happy with the job that they've done basketball-wise. A couple other things that they really bring to the table that I think are just as important to overall program success. Jane leads all of our cultural programming. So pretty much once a week, we are having conversations about how are we going to become better as a unit, not just wins and losses, but what are the things that equate to that? How is our relationships with each other? How is the respect factor that we have for each other? Do we have a great understanding of each other? How is everything that we're doing centered around our core values? Those are conversations that we have on the weekly. And especially since COVID, we have found that that has been extremely important in really building the culture that we need to have success. And Jane is a huge part of that. Lex also heads up all of our social justice programming, as well as all of our community service. Again, I say to players, I say this to recruits all the time, if you walk through the door and the only thing that I've done is make you a better basketball player, then I haven't done my job. Our responsibility as coaches, I believe, especially in a very volatile time in these young people's lives, is to help them grow and mature and become better young adults. And so some of the programming that my staff is a huge part of is critical in all of those growth areas, and they do a great job. I always say Lex also gets to take credit for all of our academic success. She will tell you that that part of her job is extremely easy, just because we have a really dedicated roster as far as the attention to detail that they have in the classroom. But she is on them and really takes good care to make sure that we don't have anybody slipping through the cracks and not doing what they need to do in the classroom. Paulina joins our staff, again, as a very familiar face in uniform for the last 6 years, but now gets to wear a little bit different attire to the office. She's taken over our Director of Operations position and has really done a phenomenal job. You know, I'm sure that I stress her out a little bit more as a member of the staff than maybe I did as her head coach. But she's really taken on those responsibilities and done a phenomenal job. A big part of that is what we put on today, the decorations, the handouts that are on your table, all of those things. As we get ready for the season, team travel is always a fun one when it comes to the operations person, so I'm sure she's super excited and not at all nervous about how that's going to go. But again, Paulina has done a phenomenal job in her new role. Deja Weathersby joins us as our graduate assistant. Again, somebody who I think is going to be really good at just trying to take in as much information as possible. She's going to have an opportunity to learn from my staff and grow and be a great professional going forward. So we're happy to have Deja. And then we have 2 exceptional managers. Those people who have the opportunity to have people in your program that really take care of the nitty-gritty things when it comes to practice or getting ready to travel. Amari joins us as a familiar, at least, name. Her mother was a great here and a Hall of Famer. And so we're super excited that she is here as part of our program. And then Shania is not here, but somebody who's been with our program for the last couple years, and again, really learned quickly how to make me not notice anything, which is always the best. If your managers take care of things without me even noticing that anything's out of place, they're doing a phenomenal job. So we're really lucky to have those 2. A little bit about last season, and I won't spend very much time there, but you know, we played some really good basketball at times last year. We started off the season beating Illinois State, a team that won the Valley, a team that went to the NCAA tournament. We felt like we were in a really good position with the roster that we had, and we were able to prove that early in the season. Unfortunately, we weren't able to kind of keep that roster together, went through a couple of rough patches, but when I look at what we were able to accomplish in the MAC, we did beat MAC champion Buffalo, and we did beat 5 different postseason teams that went on to play after the conference tournament. And so there were times where I knew how close we were to being able to get to that MAC championship, get back to the postseason. That roster returns a lot of familiar faces. And again, I think the cautious optimism surrounding the program is as high as it's ever been. This is also the deepest and most talented roster that I've had since I've ever been here. I think a lot of coaches would tell you kind of have to check some boxes if you expect to have a good season. One of them, if you can return some real key people to your roster, tested veterans that have been there and done that, obviously, that's a huge asset. I think the other thing that we've been able to do, and probably something that is more prominent across the country in college athletics now than it ever has been, is being able to tap in a little bit to the transfer portal and trying to find those transfers that really are a great fit for not just your program, but for the institution, for the team that you have at the time. And I think we were able to do that. And then the last piece of it is, are your young players continuing to develop and get better and better, not just every year, but every opportunity that you have to work with them? And I think all 3 of those things are true of our program. And so there's reason for optimism. There's proof in the pudding, I guess, in some of the numbers that we have returning to the court. And so I'm just going to, again, break down the roster just a little bit. There is a picture roster, I believe, on your table, so that's always fun to kind of follow along if you'd like. I mentioned 3 key returners, and they're all MAC performers. Asia Davis last year had an exceptional year. She was a first-team All-MAC selection, and in basketball, there's only 5 players that are first-team All-MAC, and it's not specific to position. She was the only post player in that group. She had 24 double-doubles last year, which was a single-season record. She was number 4 in the NCAA in double-doubles. Her 349 rebounds was a single-season record. She led the MAC, obviously, in rebounding at 12 a game, and she was 6th in the country in that category. She also, which is, when you think about it, maybe even a little bit more impressive, she led our team in steals and was 2nd in assists. You know, as a staff, we talk all the time, Asia is a proven scorer. She's a proven rebounder, but sometimes the things that you don't see that she does is she's a tremendous passer. And she has gotten so much better in that aspect, a lot because teams scheme against her. You know, I think there was only one team consistently last year in the MAC that didn't double her. And so we were able to put her in situations to understand where's the double coming from, where are your teammates going to be open, and then she's been able to execute with excellence in those situations. And so her passing ability is something that if you know anything about basketball, you can marvel at, because she's become really efficient there. Another All-MAC performer, Shelby Coker at the point. You know, Shelby lost the last 13 games of the season last year with a knee injury, but for her to be nominated and voted on to be an all-conference player while missing over half of the MAC season just speaks volumes to the respect that she has within the league. You know, before the injury, she was averaging 18 points a game. She shot 92% from the foul line. And in just 2 years, she's become a 1,000-point scorer. And so, you know, to say the least, that we're excited to have Shelby back on the court is for sure an understatement. But I can tell you also that if you didn't know that she had knee surgery 8 months ago, you probably would not know by the way that she's playing basketball right now. She's fearless. She was fearless before. She's still fearless. She has no hesitation in the way that she needs to play at 5'4". You know, you can't be scared if you're 5'4" and you're going to go up against some of the people that she goes up against. So we're super excited to have her back on the floor. Another All-MAC performer, John A. Poizon, that you'll get a chance to hear a little bit more from later. John A. made 80 threes for us last year and led the league in made threes. That's her bread and butter. You know, there's very few people that I would say you have the green light absolutely all the time, but John A. is that person. She can fill it up in a hurry. She averaged 13 points a game for us, and like I mentioned, was recognized as an All-MAC performer. And IU's never had 3 All-MAC people, or 3 All-MAC nominees before. And to have them all back in uniform, again, it's going to be a great year. I think these 3 provide great offensive firepower for sure for us, but the game experience and the leadership that they can draw from and then also be able to share with their teammates might be their most valuable asset. If I look at some of the returners who I mentioned have all gotten better, you know, we sit in staff meetings all the time and we try and analyze, you know, where is this player at in their development? Do we see them getting time? And if they do, what are the assets that they bring to the floor? And we haven't had a conversation yet where we haven't been really proud of the development of all 15 on the roster. Some of those players, you know, one really notable, I think, is Jaden Maribel's growth. When Shelby went down, Jaden was asked to do a lot. She filled in at the point position, played a ton of minutes, and the growth that she experienced because of that has really kind of catapulted her this year. She's a much more confident player. She's a dynamic player in her athleticism, her ability to handle the basketball. She's a slasher. She has a great job of getting to the basket. Her three-point shot continues to evolve. But really watching Jaden go about her business as far as the confidence that she has is the most significant piece to what I think is going to be a great year for her. Emily is here, and also somebody you'll get a chance to hear from later. battled through a little bit of early season injuries, but's back on the court. And Andy mentioned that Saturday we had an open scrimmage. And I think it was good for a lot of reasons, but we put Emily on the court, and she was really able to do all the things that we're going to need her to do on a night-to-night basis at depth at the post position. So I'm excited to see how the last year is going to be for Em. Brooke Stonebreaker is our tallest player, 6'3", lefty, and again, somebody who, when you look at growth, she looks much more like a college athlete. She's done a great job in the weight room. And again, her confidence and her level of communication and those things that you see players that have been around the program for a year or two, those areas of growth have been really good. I think she's going to be able to help us. She's probably the closest thing we have to a rim protector, somebody who can block shots. And she gets the pleasure of trying to guard Asia every day. So that's going to make you either quit or be better. One of the two is going to happen, and she's definitely gotten better. And then we kind of have a couple of players who have come in as prolific three-point shooters and have really stepped up in that category. Mariah Pruitt and Sydney McCrae are both floor spacers for us. Both of them had an opportunity to play significant time last year at times because of injuries. And again, anytime you can be able to put young players on the floor and throw them in the fire and see what happens, you can't replicate those things in practice. So those are valuable minutes on the floor, and I think both of them were able to grow in that area. Another second-year player, Laura, has probably seen the biggest growth. Last year we had to play her a little bit the forward position. That was probably a little bit out of position for her. She's much better on the perimeter, so we've kind of put her back at that 3 position. She has spent a lot of time in the gym in the off season, and one of those people that at the end of the day you look at the stat sheet and you're like, they have 6 rebounds and 4 assists and 5 or 6 offensive boards, like giving you extra possessions. That's what Laura's going to be able to do for us. She's going to be efficient. She's really good defensively. She has great size on the perimeter. And so I think we're going to see, again, a whole new dimension to her game while we have her a little bit more in position this year. And then the last returner, Grace Hunter sat out all last year with an injury. She's fighting a little bit of injuries right now, but I don't think anything that's going to keep her out for the season. But if you remember when Grace did play a couple years ago, she's a high energy, 100% all the time type of player. She brings a much needed edge to the floor for us. So we're excited to have her back and see what that looks like with a healthy Grace Hunter. So I mentioned the 3 things that we're excited about: key returners, growth with our young kids, and then the other piece is what new faces or what new pieces have you added to the program. This is not something that we've had before either. We have 5 new places, but only 1 new faces, but only 1 freshman. So we have 4 transfers that we've added. One of them is here. Again, you're going to get a chance to hear from Emma. Emma's a grad transfer that comes to us from Vermont, played at Franklin Pierce, was a dominant player for them. And now she is looking for the experience of playing, one, at the next level, but the leadership and being a great teammate and being a great communicator with a high IQ are all things that are assets as well as her skill set. Her and Tara are both transfers. They'll both play significant minutes at the forward position. Tara was at the University of Wisconsin last year, played a lot for the Badgers, 3-time state champion at Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. So again, a tremendous athlete, somebody who's extremely versatile, especially on the defensive end. We could ask her to guard 1 through 5 and she would be able to do it. It's 100% all the time with Tara. And so we're interjecting a lot of the intangibles as well as skill set to this roster. So Emma and Tara will play a lot at that 4 position. We brought in 2 junior college players, both from Kirkwood Community College, both guards, both coming off a national championship. And so they really don't know anything but winning, which is really exciting. Tatiana will play primarily at the point position. She again is a whatever you ask me to do, coach, I'm going to do. Really good defender, loves to distribute the basketball, quick learner. Like, you can tell her once and she's going to get it done. Battling a little bit of a shoulder injury, but I think she's getting healthier and healthier every day. And then Courtney Drake is another guard from Kirkwood, and she shot like 47% from three-point range last year. A really efficient three-point shooter that, again, will space the floor for us. Those guys have been great additions. And then, like I mentioned, we just have one freshman. Brooke is got great upside. She's got all the things that I need to see from her as far as things in her bag, we say all the time. She's efficient and versatile and skilled around the rim. She gets better and better every day. Again, freshmen are like new puppies, You got to teach them something all the time, and sometimes you want to pull your hair out, and other times you're like, I love you very much. They're just like a puppy. And Brooke is definitely that person. So those are the new faces that we have to the program. Andy also mentioned a little bit about our schedule, and I really do believe it's a good combination of things to prepare us for the MAC. The open scrimmage, Andy mentioned, was really good for us, and it was the first opportunity we really had with officials on the floor. So sometimes in practice, things can get a little bit physical. You have done nothing except going against each other for a significant amount of time. And so you need officials to kind of clean those things up for you, right? Like some of the hand-checking calls, making sure that we're not developing bad habits when it comes to traveling, post-play. So that part of it, I think, was really good. And then we were able to talk to the officials after and be like, okay, what did you see? Were there any things that you think are really things that we have to clean up that you saw across the board? So I think that piece of it was probably the most beneficial. We do have a closed scrimmage in 10 days or so, and then we do open up with an exhibition game, which will be the first time for us to put a uniform on, run through the tunnel, and really play against somebody else, which will be a lot of fun. That will be on October 29th. And then we have 9 non-conference games. We'll start at Notre Dame. Again, the experience of that, I think, will be great. I think this is a roster that's going to very much look forward to that and not be overly intimidated by the bright lights. Obviously, Notre Dame is a great program. They'll have a great team. But I think we'll be able to go in there, and we're very much looking forward to that. Obviously, there's some historical overlap there. Carol Owens is there as their associate head coach. Anybody who knows anything about NIU basketball knows Carol. She has become really a staple in women's basketball across the country in a lot of things that she's been able to do, even through the association. So we're excited to go out there and have Carol on the other sidelines. And then we will come home with our home opener. And again, historically speaking, we will play DePaul here in the Convocation Center, which hasn't happened in many, many years. Doug's going to have a great team again. That they will challenge us for sure on the defensive end. Any of you who have followed some of their success, they love to score the basketball and push it up and down and shoot. And really, in a lot of ways, we've tried to emulate our game to what he's been able to do at DePaul. So fans will love that experience. And again, having an opportunity to bring a team like DePaul to DeKalb, it's a big deal. And for it to be our home opener, there should be a lot of energy in the building, which will be nice. That week is a big home week for us. We play DePaul, then we play Southern Indiana, then we play Western Illinois, all in that first week of the season. So it's an opportunity to see us a ton against all different types of teams. And then our home slate will end with SIUE in the middle of December. In between, as far as games on the road, we will travel to Detroit Mercy. We will travel to Eastern Illinois. We will travel to Lindenwood. And then we're going to get the opportunity Thanksgiving weekend to go to Annapolis, Maryland, and play at the Naval Academy, which will be a great opportunity to play a couple teams out there, and then also tour the campus, making sure that we take in as much as we can while we're out there. So I know that'll be an exciting weekend for us. And then that will prepare us, hopefully, with all of those challenges for what the MAC has to offer. Toledo won the regular season last year. They return a bulk of their players. My guess is that they will be the preseason favorite in the MAC. Many teams will look different, especially because of the transfer portal. We've had some transfers that have gone to different teams within the league, which will be weird. They'll just be in a different uniform. which is something that you hardly ever see. But with the new transfer rules, that gives them immediate eligibility at some of those institutions. So, there'll be a lot of changes in the roster spots that we see. I think it will be as competitive as ever. Again, I should think this right now. I think we will be in contention. I think we have as good a roster as anybody, but you got to lace them up for 40 and see what happens. The top 8 go to Cleveland. That's always our goal. Get there, win some games, make some noise, and get an opportunity to play postseason basketball. Those goals will never change. And again, I think this roster has an opportunity to really do that if we can stay healthy. So that's my overview, the roster, the schedule. What I'll do now is open it up for any questions that you have, and then I'll have Andy go ahead and move us on with the rest of the program. Does anybody have questions for me? You guys are going to let me off easy, aren't you?
First time.
First time, that's right. All right, Andy, if you want to come back up and introduce some of our guests.
Yes, thank you. I know, you took my stuff, thank you. I concur seeing a lot of the team and how deep. It is interesting with the MAC this year. We'll get more on that in these Coffee with Carlsen's coming up. But it'll be interesting. This is the deepest team coach has had, the best players she's had, in my opinion, and they're gelling, and I like it, so it's good. All right, let me bring up the players when I say your name coming up. John A. Poison, come on up. Number 22, from the grad student from Matson, Illinois. John A. Poison, one of my favorite players of all time. Like I said, been here a long time. She's like me, 3-point shooter. Boom, right there. 83s. Emily Miner, number 30. You heard Coach talk about her. Grad student, Galesburg, Illinois. Looking forward to seeing what Emily brings. And again, had a good scrimmage, and the veteran and game experience will help. And great to see Emily up here. And Emma Carter, all right, number 24. Grad student, Bristol, Vermont. One of our newcomers. Brings experience. And looking forward to talking to them. I'm going to give you a mic, okay? I'm going to turn these on, all right? Make sure. See if that, say hi. Hello. That's John I for you. And I'll stay here, okay? So I won't even talk about the mic, right? I'll start with John A., the veteran, all right? Me and you joke around a lot, but it's been great to have you around. And not just your playing skills, but your personality. Where do you get your personality from? Why you're just jovial. You joke around. I love you for that. What is it about it? Why are you who you are right now?
Not on the sheet.
I went off. I gave them questions I was going to give and ask. I'm never going to give the real questions all the time. Johnny, just tell me, you've gone through a lot, right? You've had to go through injuries, and you've had to kind of sit out a lot, but you've stayed here. You fought through all that. Why? Why go through all the pain? Why go through all that? Why was it important to keep the NIU jersey on?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time there was no other option. Oh, I'm sorry. I think at the time there was really no other option. You know, I was like 19 when it happened. I'm 24 now. So I didn't think there was something else to do. Like if someone gets hurt, you come back. Like that's what it is. And then it happened the second time. I was like, yeah, I'll just do it again. You know. And I was thankful it happened the second time because I think I wouldn't have got to the place where I was if I didn't, because my first recovery was tough. But there were definitely points where I thought I should stop. You know, I should just take, the jersey off and I'll be a part of the program in some way. And I think Coach and Adam would have allowed me to do that. But Coach told me that she feels like I could still play at this level. And Adam thought that as well. So it was really just, it was like I didn't have an option, but then there were people there to push me to keep playing because they felt like I could. But there was definitely a point where I thought I couldn't. So
Johnny, to come back and be fulfilling and to be honorable mention all MAC and to make 83s, you didn't just come back, but you're playing at a high level. And I know you want to play well this year, especially on a team like this that could have a lot of wins.
Yeah, for sure. There's always room for improvement, always. And I think that's hard to think about as well. It was funny because I was talking to Shelby a little while ago, and I was like, what are you trying to improve on? It was one of like our team building questions. She was like, I don't know, because all I've been thinking about is getting healthy. And I think that was my mindset for a really long time. It's like, I just want to be healthy. There's nothing I'm trying to improve on. I'm trying to get back to where I was. But now I'm in a place where I'm trying to be the most consistent scorer I can be, and I can be the best shot taker as well. Like Coach said, I have the green light, but I'm also not trying to use it 100% of the time. So I want to be an efficient player and the best player for the team, not necessarily just for myself. So,
Emily, Coach, now your third year with the team, and you've kind of built up from the first, the second to now going into this season. What type of role, what are you expecting from yourself as you start out this season?
I would just say, like, Coach looks for me to be the best communicator on the team, be the loudest, have the most energy. I think I know the defense inside and out, and where other people should be at the same time that I should be. I also think I'm more of just like a role player, make open shots, and rebound, be the second best rebounder on the team behind Asia. So.
Do you see yourself as a veteran on this squad? I mean, now with your third year and getting more responsibilities and Coach counting on you more, do you also see yourself as more of like a leader on this squad?
Oh yeah, I would definitely say so. I would say I find myself leading the most when it comes to communication. Everyone looks at me for that, and I hold myself to that.
All right. Emma, one of our newcomers, you picked NIU, and Coach talked about it, wanting to come and play D1 and play at this level, but why did you choose NIU to be where you had your career?
The people and the program. When I was getting recruited here, and I remember I came on my visit, Coach offered me when I was here and was kind of like, I think, anxious to see what my decision would be. And I remember saying, well, I really need to talk to my dad about this first. Like, I need to go home, I need to debrief with my dad because he's been a big role in everything. But from the second I stepped on campus and was with the coaching staff and was with the players, I just had that feeling, and I knew. It was the most comfortable I had felt with a group of people really ever playing basketball.
So when did you get on campus? And it can be tough to kind of be a part of a new team, but you have some other newcomers with you. Does that help? And how long have you been here? And then was it easy just to kind of gel into this team?
Yeah, so I got out here in early June and have been doing summer workouts with the newcomers since then. And I think being with the newcomers, especially 4 of us being transfers, we were all in a similar boat, and I think that made it easier for all of us, I think, to adjust to a new school and everything, and get to know each other a little bit before then having the whole team come back and doing that. So.
Tell me about the team, Emma, because now you come in. Tell me what you think this team could be. Being here since June, what have you seen since you gotten on campus?
One of the things that I really love about this program is how bought in everybody is. 1 through 15, everybody has that drive and that hunger and that desire to win and get better every single day and make each other better every single day. Like growing up, that's how I always was, and I always kind of looked for that in the other people that I was playing with, but I never really quite found it until I got here.
Emily, tell me about playing with Coach Carlsen, playing for the staff, and I make jokes about it. Lex and Jane are going to hit me all year about not having defense. The defense is good, trust me. But Emily, tell me about, just playing for Coach Carlsen, playing for the staff, and why you like playing for him.
Playing for Coach Carlsen is a little bit different than any other coach I've had, because she's more of just like a step back and observe, and then she'll talk to you about it if she needs to. She lets you kind of figure things out for yourself first. She also has a very open line of communication. If you ever have any questions, she's very honest and just open to anything that you want to know, that what you need to improve on. The defensive coaches, they're very honest, which I think that they need to be because we're the MAC. But we draw it out every day, and they're just in it to win it. And Adam is a little bit different than Coach Carlsen. He's more of a communicator at practice. He talks a lot at practice, but he definitely knows what he's talking about, and he's very trustworthy. It's fun to play with these coaches. If there's anything you ever need to know, their doors are always open.
Johnny, for you, and you've been here a long time with me and playing with Coach Carlsen, the ups and the downs, but what's it like to play for Coach and know that she has your back? She's got everyone's back, but to know that you can go out there, play freely, and know you have a coach that trusts you.
Yeah, I think it just, on the court, it comes out as you want to go you will go to battle with anyone. I think Coach talks about that as well. Like, these are the people you're going to battle with, and I think these are playing for Coach is like someone you want to run through a wall with, which I think is something Allie Lehman used to say all the time. She would run through a wall for Coach Carlsen. And I think that's something that not every coach can say. Like, their players don't say, yes, I will do anything I can for my head coach. And I think that's just the mentality she instills in us. And then it's also, she instills we need to have that same thing for our teammates. Like, I'll do anything for Emily. I'll do anything for Emma. Because, you know, we're going, it is a battle. It's hard. It's a really long road from now till March.
I want to mention, too, on the tables, and Coach talked about, there's these little playing cards and there's wristbands. Those are free to take. Don't take the silverware or the glasses. Those have to stay here this time. But you can take the cards and the wristbands. And part of that, John A., on your playing card, I'm going to go into that, is you're a bowler. Are you a good bowler? I'm a pretty good bowler. I'm about in 190. That's one thing we may have to do on the road. That's a good bowler. Are you a good bowler?
I'm decent. I've been retired for a really long time. But I used to bowl. It was like the first sport I ever loved to play. I think that's what made me really competitive, because bowling is extremely frustrating and it's a single person sport. So yeah, I was decent.
Emily, for you, you're a world traveler. I know you've been to Spain and you've gotten to travel. What is it about international travel and being able to get out of the United States and see different places, and you've had the chance to do that?
Yeah, so I went to Spain 2 years ago, and I definitely want to keep traveling internationally. I would say the coolest thing was just seeing the different culture, different food, definitely hearing the different languages, and just seeing how, like, living in the mountains was just crazy to me. You're on the water and you look up and you could just see, like, houses, like, so high up, and It's just, like, kind of scary, but it was awesome to see.
All right, Emma, for you on your card that you're a farmer. What kind of farmer is that? I mean, do you still? And you're also a licensed insurance agent. Please tell me how those two intertwine. First, start with farming. What do you're a farmer of what?
So we raise beef cows at home. So I have Scottish Highlanders, red and black Angus, and then we also have pigs, layer hens, and meat birds.
Nice.
So.
And then how does that entitle you to be an insurance agent and just get out there? How did that happen? How's that happen?
Yeah, so my father owns an insurance company in Vermont, and he owns a few agencies throughout the state. And so growing up, I always worked for the family business. I would do his radio advertisements. So I would always start off with, "Hi, this is Emma, daughter of Eric Carter." And then I would go into whatever, the seasonal advertisement. But so I kind of was around his business growing up, and kind of watched him become really successful doing that, and kind of how hard he had to work to do that. And it became something that I always wanted to do. And so during COVID, I sat for my insurance license exam.
Last question for you guys, just your goals. Emma, do you have a personalized goal or something you want to achieve by the end of the season?
At the end of the season, I want to win. I want to have a winning season with this team. That's my...
Emily, for you, any personal goals, or is it, hey, let's just go out there and win this thing?
Win the MAC, but definitely beat Bowling Green again, because we swept them my first year, and they swept us. And, it's time to get our revenge. And then I would just say, beat Toledo.
Yeah. All right. John A., for you, it couldn't end in a better story if we got to Cleveland and won it all. But do you have any personalized goals, or is this just win for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, MAC championship, I think it would be full circle. Obviously, we got there my freshman year, and so that would be great. You know, get Toledo. Can't stand them, but
and we only get them one time. We don't go to Toledo this year. They only come to us.
So, but that would be cool. And then I think I'm on track for 1,000 points, so that would be cool. To be in my career like that. So.
John A., Emily, Emma, appreciate the time, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and coming up. And good luck. All right, have fun. 190. So that's basketball. We got some great coaches we're going to hear from now. Let's start with volleyball and Ray Gooden. 21st season, 5-time MAC Coach of the Year, 13-4 overall record so far this year, 6-1 in the MAC. Ball State in town this Friday and Saturday. Hope you guys can come out. Some big matches at Victory Court, and he's also my favorite DJ. Ray Gooden, right there.
The Andy Garcia upgrade is something special, huh? For this. All the no disrespect to Deborah. I mean, day job. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. All the things, some things are different, some things are the same. I want to say, hey, good morning to everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying breakfast, but that's different now. But it's great to be here at Faranda's. Like I said, the Andy Garcia upgrade's ridiculous. That's really cool. Now it's the boring part. Now I just talk. Sorry. Do you have questions for me, sir? No. Sorry, I thought. All right. See, I left him speechless for the first time, I think, ever. I am Ray Gooden. I have been coaching at NIU here now for this is year 21. It's been a while, longer than John A. Sorry. So let me go through my first parts here, and I'll do with gratitude first. The women's basketball program for allowing me to be up here and talk to you for a little while. The organization and the leadership they show as a program for us in the department is tremendous. So thank them for having a wonderful opportunity to speak here and a wonderful program. So thank you, women's basketball, Lisa, and the whole staff. Andy mentioned before, Mr. Frazier, Anton Goff is also our sports administrator. So it's nice to have him here. All the support from the other women's programs that are here. One of the coolest things about being at NIU is our ability to be a unit, where everybody can see everybody as a person and not as an entity or a title or something like that. You know, whether it's talking to myself, talking to Coach Hammock, Lisa Carlsen, the Hall of Famer, and Connie T. Berry, everybody. Just that vibe is an important thing. I knew that day one when I came in, met Coach Novak, some other coaches that were around. No one felt like they were bigger than you. And I can't tell you how important that is when you go in to do your daily work, to feel like people feel like you're valued and to know that you don't have to do something extra. You just be yourself. So I'm very appreciative of that. I want to introduce you to our staff. First is Joe Davidson. Joe has been here, what is it for you, Joe? 7, 8, somewhere in there. We lose track after a while. Joe's been pretty much everything. Been practice player, not GA, some other things, one assistant, now to the only assistant. The growth in Joe and his ability to help us with this group in particular has been tremendous. We had a special speaker in our all coaches meeting yesterday that talked about different things you wanted to do to help with your team and mental health, and things you maybe can do for programming some strategies and things along those lines. And Joe has implemented a bunch of those things without us even knowing it. Whether it's checking with the players, just being able to make sure we care for them as just the individual and not as a player. And some of the things he's done, he does all of our scouts, he does pretty much everything. And for sure, my right hand, not only is he one hell of a coach, he's also a good friend. So I definitely want to thank him for what he's been able to do. Next to Joe is Morgan Sherwin, who's just joined us this year. She was a student athlete at Quinnipiac out east, was a professional athlete in Hungary, and came back. And if you couldn't find a better fit at a proper time, it would be it right now. She is the perfect fit for us. Beyond professional, just a good person, just everything about her just screams of help to our volleyball program. So those two I would definitely want to make sure we acknowledge for being a part of our staff. Thank you. Next to those two is my girlfriend Peggy Hayes, who is my rock and has to tolerate with me with all these different things. So definitely thank you, Peggy, for being here and for all the things you've done. Okay, so let's hit volleyball pretty quick. I feel like I'm in the same spot, doing the same thing I did last year as this year. We're in the same position this year as we were last year. We've had some positives so far with our year. It's been good, but we are still eligible for the MAC tournament to be in and also to be out as we go through it right now. We are ending our first half. Coming up this weekend, we will have played 9 matches in league when we play Ball State. So we'll be halfway there. If we're judged on being what you've done halfway through it, we've done okay. But that's not the case right now. So we've got to keep on keeping on. I can't tell you the matches before, all of the things that have gone on. I just know that we see what's in front of us. But what I tell you about our team, and the fun part about it this year is that, the things you've heard about women's basketball and all the things that they're looking for are some of the things we see. We have a mixture of old and young. We have a group that's been very committed. We've had a group that's been working really hard together. I think that's the biggest thing we've had so far. Our team is trying to do their best to be the best team that they possibly can be. We have people who hit it, who set it, block it, dig it, and they do it really well. They're not the same person. They're all different people. And the more we see that spread of throughout our entire team, the better our team is going to be. We've had individual accolades over the past few weeks, but it's a representation of what our team has been able to do so far this year. And as we continue to ride that and understand how important that is, how the team goals are more important than individual goals, we're praying for more success. We want to play in the MAC tournament. We want to be able to compete, hopefully, for a MAC championship in the West overall. We want to play we call our championship, I call it the MAC Daddy. We want to be able to play in the MAC Daddy on Sunday of championship week. We want to play in postseason, all those types of things. Been very thankful to hear from people say to us, hey, I've seen your match and your team does a really good job. That is an amazing thing for us to be able to take the time to watch our match, whether it's in person or on ESPN for the matches we've had available. We encourage you guys to continue to watch us on ESPN, to be able to see us at Victory Court and continue to support us. The last thing I want to make sure I do is, and it should have been one of the first things, but I got to make sure I acknowledge the person who brought me here, D. Abrahamson. If it weren't for D 21 years ago, you wouldn't hear me rambling for this amount of time. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. But her guidance of me and just, her continual belief in me, I can't begin to repay her for all that she's done for me. So thank you all for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray. And again, the big match is coming up Friday and Saturday, taking on Ball State at Victory Court. Hopefully you guys can make it out. From volleyball to women's soccer. And Michael O'Neill came from Saginaw Valley State, program where he had a lot of success. The NIU women's soccer team already this year has as many conference wins as they did all of last season. And they still have 5 matches to play. And you can tell the leadership is already growing and it's going to get better for women's soccer. Michael O'Neill.
Thanks, Andy, and thanks everyone for being here and having us here today. Want to say a quick word about Ray. Kind of setting the standard in terms of fall sports this year. I was able to get to a home game against Western Michigan not too long ago. Saw them grind out a 5-setter, and it was pretty cool to watch and evident the grit, the toughness, and I know you're hoping to keep that thing rolling. But that kind of leads me into kind of my experiences here so far and the culture that we have here at NIU, the coaches and the cultures that they are building with their programs of sustained success. It's pretty cool for a young coach. My second job, my first Division I job, to be surrounded by such great coaches. And there's an old saying in sports that iron sharpens iron. And I think that I'm going to benefit a lot from this experience, and my team, of course, from the lessons that we're learning from other sports and other coaches around the department. So it's pretty cool to see. And again, just from hearing from the basketball girls and the coaches up here, winning is obviously paramount in any successful culture, but it's people first. These kids are important, and the relationships that we have with these kids. Winning is a byproduct of that, and it's pretty cool to be surrounded by coaches and programs that put people first. This ever-evolving landscape of collegiate athletics, I think, is for the right reasons, and it's great to be here. A little bit about myself and my staff, as Andy alluded to. Coached at SVSU for the last 8 years, had some success there. I'm originally from London, England. So, yeah, you was thinking Sydney or something probably, but always get that. But no, London, England, came over here to play college soccer, wanted to stay here and pursue a job in one of the best industries in the world. There isn't anything like this back in England, let me tell you that. It's pro sports or nothing. So for me to be able to impact young women and obviously win a few games in the process, is a pretty cool experience. So I knew from day one that I wanted to stay out here, and this is my home now. I'm married, have a 2-year-old. We're very happy and enjoying our time here. We moved and bought a house in the Sycamore area. So it's been great to be here and hoping for a very successful road ahead. We were able to bring in some other new faces to our program these past 2 months. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, as you can imagine, getting the job in April and bringing in a staff. But my staff consists of Lawrence Patterson, who was my assistant coach at my previous institution, and is doing a fantastic job. Lawrence played at SVSU, is our goalkeeper coach and our recruiting coordinator, and again he's grinding away. And again, we're learning together in this, so it's a great process for all of us. Valentina is our other assistant coach. She was my player in 2016 to 2019. Fantastic player at that, all-region player at SVSU, and again. Is doing some great things in terms of building that relationship between staff to players, and also can still play a little bit, So when I want to get some points across, Valentina V, as we call her, she jumps into a session and we get that point across pretty quickly. So it's pretty cool to have a coach that still can lace up the cleats and get out there and demonstrate well. So fantastic staff, and I'm excited, and I think they're excited for the journey ahead, and what a journey we have. It's a program that we are building from the ground up, literally, and we're going to take great pride and enjoy this process. We've had some immediate success, I think it'd be fair to say, but we're not getting carried away by any means. Rome wasn't built in a day, and whilst we are enjoying the successes, the small victories along the way, we know that we came here with a long-term plan, a long-term vision, and we're not gonna get complacent until we achieve our objective. So the season, we started off with a great non-conference schedule, and again we won the majority of those games. I think I'll leave it at that, and that led us into some great momentum with the MAC conference, which we are currently 500. As Andy mentioned, we have some games to play. We had a tough one on Sunday, homecoming against Akron. But again, we have to take a step back and realize the bigger picture we're in. And I know about the group that one thing they are is they're a tough group and they respond the right way. It's a very, very coachable group. They listen, they absorb information. They want to do the right things. They want to challenge themselves. And again, I had my doubts coming into a program. Why is a program underachieved for so long? And as we start to break each facet of the program down, what could we improve here? What could we improve in this area? The individuals themselves are always going to be under the microscope as to how could we improve? What have they been doing that maybe hasn't worked? But the more I work with these girls, the more I see the leadership, the energy, the effort is all in place. And now that puts the accountability on me, my staff, in terms of how far we can take this group. So I'm enjoying working with them. I think depending on what day you ask them, but I think they're enjoying us and the energy that we bring. We're a passionate staff. I'm a passionate human being. I think if you ever watch a game of soccer, you see them on the sidelines. I'm all in, 100% in, but I'm trying to obviously inject that into their heads, their hearts, their minds, and go from there. So it's been a good season thus far. We have a big trip that we head out to Buffalo tomorrow, a flight that is. So they are number one in the conference, 10-1-1. We are definitely going in as the underdog, but we're used to that, right? We're used to that. That's nothing that we're not familiar with. And again, the chip on our shoulder has been there from day one. So we were picked bottom in this conference by quite a significant amount of points. And I think we're already proving a few people wrong and in terms of what we're trying to achieve and the group that we have here. So we're excited for the trip tomorrow, taking on the top dogs. And then we have our next home game against Kent State on Sunday, who again is another tough team. It seems like every sport, every coach that comes up here and speaks will say the same thing. The MAC is a grind. The MAC is tough, and women's soccer is no different. And we're just trying to build a program that can get in the mix somehow, some way. And if we have to claw, scratch, fight our way to it, we will. But we know that it's going to take some time. So again, appreciate you having me here. We look forward to seeing some of you out at the games. Go Huskies.
I still wake up every day and wish I had the voice of Michael Little. One day, it's going to happen. All right, cross country, Jamie Moreno, a second year cross country, also a distance coach and a veteran coach, knows what he's doing. But you know when you have insight like Connie T-Berry does, when she brings you in to this organization and to be a coach across country, help her out, you know you've got the goods. Jamie Moreno.
Thanks for having me. It's always hard to be the last speaker at these things, especially following a guy with an accent like that. Sometimes him and Ryan Swan sometimes probably wonder why I hang out in their office area sometimes. I'm trying to absorb some of it so I can get that accent, but I think all the internationals know. I have a girl from Australia on my team, Olivia Southby, and I always try to listen to her a lot so I can talk like her. But anyway, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is like you said, my second year at NIU, about 25th year of coaching. I always lose track. But I'm excited to be here again. And, as I came in last year, I always say I got here like 2 days before school started. And took over a pretty successful cross-country program. And so the transition last year was pretty tough. I always say I lived in the Red Roof Inn for 3 weeks and an apartment off campus for a couple months after that. So this year's been a lot smoother transition, actually being here all summer long and getting things ready for camp and the season and stuff. So we have 11 women on the team this year. We have, I guess, probably 5 new women and 5 to 6 returners. We have 2 seniors, Brooke Lytle, which is actually Brooke Valentine. She actually got married over the summertime, so she's a senior. So we'll lose her after this season. And Kate Robbins is a senior on the team. And then we have one other girl that was on the team when I got here, and that's Julia Finnegan. She's a current junior. So the girls have been working really hard. We started off the season. I was pretty excited bringing cross country back to campus. I know it's been a few years since we've had a cross country meet, but we helped host the opening day 5K on our cross country course this fall. The first week of September. We also had a college meet, pretty much a dual meet against Northwestern. And then we also had about 7 or 8 high school teams on campus too. So it was kind of nice to see that. And hopefully we will grow that more in the years and get more people on campus and stuff too. So the number one thing with cross country, I think, and track and field is staying healthy. One of the things that's kind of plagued us a little bit this year is injuries. We have 11 women on the team, and we had 3 women come in to the season the first week of practice with some nagging injuries, a couple foot problems, and an Achilles issue. So we've had a few girls out. So every day in practice, we have 6 or 7 girls that do the workout. We have 4 or 5 that go on cross train, and so that's been a little bit tough on us and kind of in the standings and stuff. But we traveled to Louisville last week, and we had 6 women run. I think 3 out of our 6 women that actually ran 5K PRs. So that was definitely a positive. And so that's, for me, the challenge right now as the cross-country coach is trying to get 2 groups of people. One group is training every day and healthy, and the other group is kind of cross-training and trying to get back to that. So we traveled to Bradley Pink Classic this weekend on Friday, so we'll run about 7 women in that race while we try to get the other ones healthy, and then in 2.5 weeks we run at the MAC meet in Ohio, so we're excited about that. And so, I think a joke I heard there, I'm not very good with jokes because I can never remember them. I get it out, and then I forget the punchline, and I try to make it up, and it's not any good, but I heard this other day. I said, what'd the cowboy say in his second rodeo? This ain't my first rodeo. So I kind of like that. I can remember jokes like that. So this isn't my first rodeo with building a team, trying to get them back towards the top of the conference. So that's my goal. Like these other coaches, like they've said over and over again, there's a lot of support here at NIU. We have some great coaches. Our cross-country and track program has a rich tradition here, and that's what we're working towards, so recruiting and trying to get those student athletes in. But I'm proud of our women and what they're doing right now. I think last fall our women's cross-country team had just under a 3.8 team GPA. Second semester, I think it was just over a 3.6. And so we're just as proud of our academic success as we are, on the cross-country course. But Coach T. Berry's been a great person to have around and be somebody that helps me out a lot. And Coach Jordan Daphne is our assistant coach, and she's around. And so I think we work pretty good together, and just kind of hoping to continue to build our program and to get it back towards the top of the MAC. And that's what the goal is. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So I just got word. Sean just approved it. We have Coffee with Carlsen on Tuesdays. Jokes with Jamie is now Thursdays inside the parking lot every Thursday. All right, I'm going to have the players come back up. Emma, John A., and Emily, if you can come up. We have goodies to give away. We have raffles. 5 prizes given away today, okay? And don't forget, they got the playing cards and the wristbands on the table. All right, don't forget to take those. Who wants to pull out the first number? Go ahead, Emily. All you. You can look. Ready? You got your numbers out? I'll go with all numbers. 294918. Don't worry, we have more opportunities. It's not done yet. Got one? Yeah. All right, there you go. Hold on to it. We'll bring the gifts to you. Don't leave, okay? Just keep your ticket. All right, 918. All right, John A. Poison. I hope I say that a lot this year. 294915. There you go. Nice. Congrats. Do you want the Caddy or the BMW? It's you got the choice. We'll let you choose. Drive around a little bit. Oh, I'm not going to speak. Go ahead, Emma. Oh, no, all you. No, all you. Go ahead. All right, what do we got? 294923. Nice. Congrats. All right, who wants to pull? One. We got 2 more. 2 more. Go ahead, Johnny.
You said names on it?
No, they did not. 294919. You got it? Bingo? Bingo. Right there. 1 more. Last but not least. From Emily Minor. 294931. Anyone? Oh, you got it? Nice. Congratulations. You're the best. All right, congratulations to all the winners. And don't forget, our next Coffee with Carlsen is Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th. So do 2 things. Vote and come to Coffee with Carlsen, 12 p.m. Veranda's here on Tuesday, November 8th. We're going to have a game before that. We're going to play Notre Dame the night before. So we'll have some stuff to talk about. Appreciate Ray Gooden, Michael O'Neill, Jimmy Moreno, all the staff and crew that's come out. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Coffee with Carlsen. So long, everybody. I want to be a game show host. That's what I want to do. Game show host next.